When you are a freelance makeup artist, you're either super busy or really quiet. It's just the nature of the game. It's either feast or famine. Now, when you're in those quiet periods, it's really easy to stay on top of your business, on top of all those admin things that you need to do. But what about when you're really busy? How do you stay on top of your business then? Hey there, I'm Sue Louise McLaren. I have been a freelance makeup artist for 20 years now, and I'm passionate about helping the next generation of makeup artists become more successful freelancers. Now, I know for myself this year I've had so many last minute bookings, and I've had some weeks that have been the busiest of my career. And I can only imagine what it's like for those artists who are just coming out of lockdown. Everything's starting to get back to normal and people are rushing to get their appointments booked. Now, especially at this time of year, so I'm recording this video in early November 2021, we're coming into that end of the year time when it does tend to get super busy. Now, as a sole trader, it's a huge step to hire someone to come and help you in your business. And you may not be ready for that step, either financially or, if you're like me, a bit of a control freak, you might not be ready to delegate that work. But just how do you stay on top of it yourself? So in this video, I'm going to share my top 5 tips for how to stay on top of your business when you are a busy makeup artist. Tip number 1 is to plan your week and to schedule things. Now, obviously with makeup appointments, whether they're weddings or commercial jobs, they're going to be first in your calendar. What I like to do is once a week, and I usually tend to do it on a Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening, is to sit down and look at my calendar, look at the jobs that I've got coming in and when I can fit things in around those jobs. So obviously I've got my makeup jobs. If you've got another job, a 9 to 5, full-time or part-time, obviously that needs to go into your calendar. But I'll also schedule in any family or personal appointments that I have, things like doing workouts, and then I'll carve out some time for working on the business side of my business. So for example, on Mondays, I like to do my invoicing and getting back to any inquiries. I like to set aside some time for social media, content creation, and then of course time for follow-up as well. Obviously, we need to take care of our kit, so not just washing brushes, but cleaning our kit, restocking our products, any training that you might be doing, whether that be in-person training or online training, educational and professional development should be put into your diary or calendar as well. Now, obviously, as freelancers, we need to be flexible about these days. You know, I would like to say every Monday is when I do my invoicing and getting back to inquiries. But if you're working on set for 12 hours on a Monday, it's going to be pretty hard for you to be sending out your invoices. You're going to be pretty tired by the time you get home. So it's important to be a little bit flexible with those timings. So I like to use color-coded categories for all of these sort of things in my calendar. So I'm an Apple girl. I have a MacBook Pro computer and an Apple iPhone, which talk to each other with my calendar. And so I will use different colors for different categories. So whether it's a makeup job or admin or networking or personal things. Now, if you use Bridal Beauty Pro app to take care of your bookings and keep track of everything, that app automatically syncs with both your Apple Calendar and also Google Calendar if you use that. So that will put those appointments into your calendar automatically for you. And then the last tip, of course, is to set reminders on your phone, and you can do that directly through your calendar. You can organize it to set a reminder at the time of the appointment or when you've set time aside, for example, for your invoicing, or you can set it for 10 minutes before. Tip number 2 is to batch your content. So this tip is specifically around social media. One of the big complaints I get from my students and my coaching clients is how much they struggle to keep on top of social media. And I remember once talking to a very big social media influencer makeup artist here in Queensland, and she said to me, "Sue, social media has become a full-time job for me." So we're not all blessed with hundreds of thousands of followers, But it is an important part of our marketing strategy, or it should be an important part of your marketing strategy as a freelance artist if you're trying to grow your business. But just what do you do to avoid needing to be on social media all the time? Forgetting to post. We all know how important consistency is. So what I recommend is, again, to set aside some time each week and batch your posts. So think about what things you want to post that week, be they in-feed posts or reels or other videos. Do you do YouTube videos? Do you write blog posts? Is it just Instagram? Do you have Facebook or TikTok or any other platform as well? Spend some time each week thinking about the posts that you are going to put up. And what I like to do is to already put the photos in draft in Instagram, and then I will write my captions and organize my hashtag groups. And I like to use display purposes to help me with different hashtag groups every post. So you can check that one out at displaypurposes.com. And I will keep those captions and the groups of hashtags in the notes on my phone, because heaven forbid if something happens and my drafts disappear and I've forgotten what I actually wrote for the captions. Now, sometimes I get asked about using a third-party scheduling app for social media. Instagram has actually said that it deprioritizes posts that have been posted with third-party apps. However, I think that if it's a toss-up between using one of those apps and being consistent in your posting, so, if you're just not getting around to posting for a week at a time, in that instance, then maybe it's okay to be using one of those third-party apps. If you are using my method and using the drafts and notes, don't forget to set yourself a reminder for when it's actually time to post. And again, you can use this with the alarms in your phone. Tip number 3 is to follow up and finish up. This is something that I like to do on Friday, because you all know how much I love iterations. Friday, follow up, all the F's. And this is something that is really important. You've probably heard me say it before, and I'm going to say it again. The fortune is in the follow-up. It's amazing how much work you might be throwing away simply by not following up with all of your inquiries. So I do encourage you to set time aside for your follow-up, and also finishing up any little projects that you might be working on, whether that's updating your website, writing a blog post, creating any mood boards for any collaboration shoots that you've got coming up, anything like that. Setting aside that time to follow up and finish up is a really great idea. Friday is also the day that I like to do my accounts for the week. You might have heard me talk about my 15-minute method, where just taking that 15 minutes to record all of my income and expenses for the week saves a massive headache at the end of the year. Now, if you could use more tips on exactly how to record your expenses and how to take care of the business side of your business, check out my makeup business course, and I'll link that down in the comments below, where you'll get not only video lessons on how to do this, but also a lot of the templates that I use for communication with my clients, and the spreadsheets and other things that I use for recording all of my income and expenses. Tip number 4 is to set boundaries and to take some time out. Now, I will be the first, hand on heart, to admit that I know how hard it is to say no. As a freelancer, we're always worried if we say no to a job, if we knock work back, that we're going to miss out on opportunities further down the line. And also, who knows what's going to happen next week? It might be dead quiet, so we should have taken that job this week. This is a bit of a mindset issue, and when we get into that kind of scarcity mindset, we're actually turning work away. Being able to say no to work and being able to take that time out for yourself is such an important thing for the health of your business and, of course, your own mental health. Because when we're burned out and overwhelmed, we're not doing our best job, we're not looking after our clients the best way that we can be, and we're really not running our business as well as we could be. Now, setting boundaries may look different for everybody, whether that means not taking bookings on a Sunday, turning off your phone at 7 p.m. each day. Every person is going to have their own idea of what setting boundaries looks like for them, but I do encourage you to think about some boundaries that you can set around your business and how that you will say no to certain things. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you may not be in a position to hire someone to work in your business full-time or even part-time permanently. But tip number 5 is to outsource work that you can. Now, these days you don't actually need to hire an assistant to work full-time or part-time in your business. You can just hire someone on a job-by-job basis. So, for example, you could just hire someone to help you balance your books at the end of the month, or you could hire someone to look after your social media for a couple of weeks, or you could hire someone to help update your website. You can find lots of people on sites like Fiverr or Upwork. Of course, it's much better when you can find someone that comes with a recommendation. So speak to other makeup artists and see who they've used, but also check out some of the entrepreneur groups on Facebook. Virtual assistants are becoming bigger and bigger now, and more people are using them. So it's not too hard to find someone who is affordable to help you out with some of those jobs, particularly if they're jobs that you don't like balancing your books at the end of the month. I hope that you found these tips helpful. If so, please give me a thumbs up. And if you've got any questions, put them in the comments box down below, or head over to my website, suelouise.com, to see how that we can work together. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell so that you'll be notified next time a video is uploaded. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.